Hi everybody, it's Brittany, and I'm still recording and currently still dying. I'm going to be doing the Nightingale palette. So this came in a Boxycharm. I actually haven't done my unboxing yet of all of them, but I did know this was in here because I accidentally saw it on Instagram. I really need to stop following Boxycharm on Instagram because I hate getting sneak peeks. I really do like being surprised every now and again. Do you see? Oh, it's lifting. Well, that isn't good. Rude. Anyways, I haven't done the full unboxing, but as I've said before, they aren't really like first like surprise unboxings for really, they're really not because I gotta go in and label them all for where they came from. And this was in there, but I'm already did an eye look on this like I did with the Oh Honey one. I'm just now going to be going in and swatching them for you. So this is what the inside of the palette looks like. I think that this is a very beautiful palette. I like that this has more cool tones in it. I'm a cool tone kind of girl because I have a cool tone kind of skin. Anyways, so we're gonna get into it. All right, this is gonna be a little bit difficult to swatch because like I'm going to say right away, I do not like these tiny ones. I never have. I have other Pretty Vulgar palettes, and I really don't like the shape of these like top of the birdcage ones. They're just for putting your finger in, they're difficult. All right, so this first one is Nocturnal. Then we have Pillow Fight, and then Break Free. A lot of whites. All right. The next row we have Dark Side, Hide and Seek. Wait, did I swatch that one? I don't think I did. Hide and Seek. Maybe I did. Actually explains a lot. Clutch, which I really do like this shade. And Flip Out. There you go. All right. Oh, don't be wet hands. The next row is I Spy and Silver Spoon. And then the last row is Swoop, After Midnight, and All Nighter. So this is what all of these look like swatched on the arm. I'm gonna say that I did not like the consistency of these. Sticking my fingers into them, they were a little bit firm and they felt a little bit chalky in my opinion, but I like this palette. I do feel like this is a very good like neutral palette, to be honest, at least for me personally. I really don't think that this is like gonna be a good neutral palette for everyone, but it works for me, I guess. Is that okay to do? I don't know. But I'm gonna say right away that this shade here was when I opened the palette, was the one that I liked the most. This is Hide and Seek. This one didn't even show up on I had to build this one when I did the eye look a lot. So it's no surprise to me that this did not swatch very nicely either because it took forever. And I still don't feel like I got really the full like capabilities of what it could do. I just kind of got meh, you know? And then this shade here, which is Silver Spoon, in the pan, it looks more blue. And it doesn't surprise me that it looks gray on my arm because when applying it, I was super excited, thinking I was going to have this little itty bitty pop of blue, and it turned into a gray mess. It's saving grace out of this entire palette is this shade here, Clutch, this shimmer taupe shade. I really do like it. It surprised me a lot. Now looking in here, I thought it wasn't going to be very good. I thought that based especially on the way Hide and Seek performed, that the shade Clutch was just going to be one of those shades that I was going to have to build, but it came to play rather quickly and rather nicely. So I really did like that shade. I didn't use all of them, so I can't really tell you how all of them performed, but can you see what I mean where I thought that this Silver Spoon was going to turn out to be a blue? Because this here is like a grayish color, but it shows up more brown on my skin. So the pan, in my opinion, is very much deceiving as far as what they're going to actually turn out to be. And I don't like the fact that this really, the pigmentation is so faint on this that it's even hard for me personally to have worked with. So if you have deeper skin than me, this isn't going to work for you, period. Like, at all. You might be able to use these shimmer shades, but that's about it. And so that's a little bit disappointing. Anyways, I'm going to go in and do these now. This brush swatching, so that's Nocturnal. Where'd it go? Alright, we'll just start here because I don't know where I put Nocturnal. Pillow Fight. Break Free. That's the entire first row. Dark Side. I need to put this back over here so I can wipe better. Hide and Seek. See what I mean? It's just, it's hiding. I get the name now. Clutch. Flip Out. I Spy. Silver Spoon. Swoop. After Midnight. And All Nighter. Oh. Alright. So that's what these look like initially, and I promise you there are swatches somewhere. Alright, so now that I'm gonna make sure my brushes are clean, and then I'm gonna go through and try to build these. So first one is Nocturnal. I'm just gonna swatch where I think it was and just keep swatching. Okay, I'm not I can't get Nocturnal to show up. And it's all just hanging out in my brush. Alright. Moving on. Pillow Fight has more of a tan color in the pan, like more of a like nude coloring to it, so no. Wow. Alright. Can I get it? No. See, again. I feel like it'd make a great highlight though. I think I used it as a highlight. Maybe like an inner corner highlight. I don't remember. I just know that Pillow Fight isn't showing up. Break Free, which I liked the shade. I think I used this on my, or I may have used Pillow Fight on my brow bone, which is great for that if you're not wanting too intense. Alright, so this is, if I get close enough, you might be able to see where I put a finger swatch. I put like a tiny finger swatch under it. So, there you go. Those are all those. Now let's move on. Dark Side. See, these build nicely and they are beautiful. Like the shades. I find that they blend very beautifully. This one is Hide and Seek. See what I mean? Like, I just... Like, I got my brush full. I just can't... I can't get it to show up the way that it looks in the pan. All right. Clutch, which is a beautiful shade. Feel like this is this palette's saving grace at this point. Then we have Flip Out. We do have some kick up going on though, especially with that clutch shade, but it is a shimmer, so keep that in mind. I Spy with my little army. There you go. Moving on. Silver Spoon, which when I applied thought was blue, but it's not. It's not building very nicely either. Swoop. This one is a little bit not as good. Well, no, we're good. We're getting there. Swoop. After Midnight. And All Nighter. So that's what they look like built. I'm going to say this right now. It's really difficult for me to rate this just because based on these swatches alone, this is not really, this isn't very, let me get these off. Final thoughts, because I may have given you my final thoughts before when I did the eye look, but now I've had some perspective on this palette, and you know, it's slightly disappointing that this palette isn't really conducive to all, period. I have very, very fair skin. And I mean, some of you may not agree with this statement, or you may, but it is hard for me to find foundations and stuff like that in my skin tone as well. I feel like because of how fair I am, that you either get white or too yellow. It's like when they get more fair, they become more yellow tone, and I'm not, you can see by the color of my cheeks, I am not yellow. I am pink all the way. I have no foundation on right now. Nothing. Except for chapstick. Tinted chapstick, but that's it. And moisturizer. But, so, I find that I do kind of have a feel, I know how it feels to want something, but this brand or this product isn't catered to you. So to me, it's a little bit upsetting that even though I am so fair, that this isn't showing up very well on my skin tone. So if you have deeper skin tone than me, this just isn't going to work for you at all. And to me, that's really disconcerting. It's like upsetting. It makes me a little bit mad because it's, I guess in a sense, it's triggering, as people like to call it, because to me, I feel like, yeah, this sucks because darker skins people with darker skin tone can't use this. And I know how that feels because when I go to buy foundations, or it's usually just foundations because eyeshadows for the most part, because I'm fair, well, and they'll work. But when it comes to like getting foundations, it's like, yeah, I can't use that either because I can't find mine. I don't have my shade, or I have to go darker, or I have to mix it with a white shade, and then you have to have like all these mixing mediums in order to make it work because, you know, a stick foundation isn't going to change the color of a liquid foundation, and a liquid foundation isn't going to really help you if you're trying to change the color of a stick foundation. It's just not. You have to have all these mixing mediums, creams and liquids and pigments and whites and sticks and all of this stuff, and it shouldn't. I don't know. I just feel like there is a huge deficit when it comes to deep, dark foundations and eyeshadows and all sorts of stuff that cater to women of color. And then on the other end of the scale, you have all of this huge deficit or this huge gap in shade range for us that are super, super pale. And it sucks. So when I come across a palette that I'm having issues with, especially an eyeshadow palette, that I'm having issues with getting to show up on my skin, it's ridiculous. Why? I, out of most people in this world, should be able to use this because I'm so fair. And if I'm having issues, I don't even want to know how many issues that people of deeper complexion are gonna have with this palette. This would probably show up very ashy on your skin tone. And I don't think that that's a good look for you. All right? I mean, if it's something you want, go for it. But for the most part, people don't want to look ashy or powdered. They want to look blended and creamy and beautiful. And this just isn't it. So for that, I don't remember what my final thoughts were when I did my eyeshadow, because typically when I was do my eyeshadow, I was just applying it. I know I complained about the fact that it wasn't showing up, but thinking about it and being able to sit and like think, it's upsetting. So if you like this palette and you were considering it, I don't really feel like this is a palette that is necessarily worth a price tag. I'm not exactly sure how much this palette was. I don't remember how much I paid for them, period. So I don't think that you should get this palette, even if you are looking for a cool tone palette. Fine. I mean, there are other ones that you can find that are of better quality and will work on all skin tones. But I'm not going to say that I don't like the brand in general. Yes, I feel like this is a little messed up, but I still buy Too Faced, and Too Faced doesn't cater to me either. And you know what I mean? Like, I find that there are hits and misses. This palette here, this Pretty Birdie palette, the pigmentation on this is gorgeous. I feel like this would work on deeper skin tone. So I like this palette. The Early Bird one, I feel like this does have some shades in here that are gorgeous and very pretty, and you could probably get them to work. If you were very deep dark, then this probably wouldn't work for you. As far as like these lighter shades, again, you would come out probably with more of an ashy look. But these shimmer shades, they're spot on. They're great. But you can also get these shimmer shades from ColourPop, and it would be a lot cheaper for you. So I'm kind of like iffy about recommending this palette now, or the company in general. I do like the company. I think that the products that they have released are very cute and the quality is decent. It is, for the price point, it's kind of comparative. I mean, ColourPop is one of those brands that are so super cheap and the quality of them is so great that it's kind of hard to say like this is worth it, because you can always go to ColourPop, get a color or get a palette, and it's gonna work perfectly and beautifully and amazingly, and it's like 15 to 25 bucks. These palettes are at least $30. So that's one thing that you need to keep in mind. You could also build a palette from ColourPop. You can also go through and find shades that you like, and you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things you can do through ColourPop. So it's one of those things, like, it's really hard to, as reviewing this, to say like buy this over something else because ColourPop is so good, if that makes sense. But if this was something that you were interested in purchasing, I personally say pass. Now, I don't know if this is like old, which is why it was in a Boxycharm, maybe. Maybe this is like one of those things, like these were gonna go into TJ Maxx because the quality, like, they're older and they're starting to be close to their expiration date, so then Boxycharm can pick it up and put it in their palettes and ship it to you for a lot cheaper, maybe, and that's why the quality isn't as good. I don't know. But as far as this individual personal palette goes, I do not recommend this one. So now you will see me applying the eye look. Where's my magic wand? Harry Potter cannot go to school. Okay, so let me put my hair back. We're gonna start doing something new. So if I haven't explained it before this video, I'll explain it now. I'm getting ready And it's not too often that I mean, I get ready maybe twice a week. So doing like makeup looks isn't like an everyday thing for me. That is why I feel like what I'm gonna start doing is when I do get ready, I'm gonna try a new palette or retry a palette, and then I will record the swatching at a later date or an earlier date depending on when that happens. So I have not swatched this yet. I have not even unboxed it all yet. I just knew that this was coming in my Boxycharm because it was all over Instagram. I feel like doing a more neutral eye look today, so I figured I would get into the Pretty Vulgar palette. Now right away, when I opened it, what is this? I don't know. I think, you know what, we just gonna go with it. Alright, so I think I'm gonna start off with Hide and Seek. This is a nice cool tone brown. I'm gonna take a smaller blending brush. I don't know if it's this shade or this palette, but for some reason it's literally taking me forever to get this to show up on my eye. This is probably after, I don't know, 6 coats. It's blending nicely, I will say that, but it's just the pigment is taking forever to get in. Now I'm going to go into After Midnight, and I'm going to just deepen up inside here. Alright, I think now I'm gonna put Silver Spoon under the eye for that little itty bitty pop of color. And then I think that I'm gonna put Clutch here because it is more of a, or I Spy, one of the two. But I'm gonna put Break Free, which is this shade here, which is this really cute sparkly color, on the front part. I'm just gonna use Clutch, just cause why not? It's glitter. I like glitter. So this is what we have so far. I do still need to, I'm gonna grab this color Silver Spoon now, and I'm just gonna put, I did bring, Clutch a little bit further, like about a third of the way. And now I'm gonna take Silver Spoon, I'm just gonna put it in the rest of the way here, smoke it out. No, nah. You know what? No. Yeah, I'm going to take All Nighter and I'm going to put it really close to the lash line. Then I'll take Silver Spoon and just kind of blend them together just so that I have a little bit of depth in there. Actually, I'm going to put All Nighter probably about halfway and then blend it a little bit out just to give the lash line a little bit of darkness. Then I'm going to take Silver Spoon and go along the lash line because it's this bluish color. Yeah, and then I'm actually going to take Break Free and put it here. But I did find that Clutch turned out a little bit more, when I first put it on, it was really light, and I was thinking, oh great, now I'm going to need to mix I Spy into it. But it built really nicely, and I do like the color that it ended up being, so just, wow, fantastic, baby. So this is the eye look that I have so far. I found that the color Silver Spoon, which I guess I should have known that it says silver, is a little bit darker than I thought it would be. Why does this look like it has a hole? Oh, I don't know what that's for. I don't know. Anyways, so I tried to smoke it out a little bit more. I do find that it's a little too dark, in my opinion. And I did put Break Free on the front, and I'm actually gonna quickly put this a little bit deeper. I used my finger to apply it, but I'm putting it in my inner corner and it doesn't seem to be, it actually looks really good. So now I'm going to take the shade Pillow Fight and I'm just going to use that to kind of brighten up my brow bone. I think that's everything. I'm gonna finish up by putting on liner, and by liner I don't mean eyeliner. Well, you know what? I'm actually gonna go into the shade All Nighter, and I'm gonna use that one as a liner. I'm actually gonna use this. This is actually new to my collection. I have yet to use it. It has sticky stuff on the top. This is the Wet n Wild Pro Line. I picked this up while I was grocery shopping. I would have to say that my final thoughts on this palette is that I really do like it. I'm going to say that I don't really like the eyeliner, which is this, what is this called? The Felt Tip Fine Line Wet n Wild in dark brown. So it's so dark brown that it's pretty much black. I mean, if somebody said this was black, I would probably think it was. I wouldn't really see too much of a difference. As far as the actual shadows go, I would have to say that they perform pretty decently. The one shadow that I used, what shade was it? This one here, Hide and Seek, kind of took a lot to get to actually show up on the eye, so that was a little bit upsetting. The rest of them I didn't have too many issues with. They blended out nicely. I found that this Silver Spoon shade in here, while it looks blue, is actually more of a silver, and I guess, I mean, from it I should have known. I find that this shade here, Break Free, is really nice. I applied it with a brush and with my fingertips, and both of them were fine. Clutch was really pretty. It showed up pretty light at first, but it's really buildable, so I do like that. The rest of the shades were just normal. I really do like this palette. I find that this is a cool tone palette, but it does have a little bit of warmth in it if you needed it. I find that this is really nice for creating a very neutral eye look. Now getting back to the liner, I did not like it. I found that it doesn't go over itself really nicely at all. Like I initially was going to do a smaller liner, and then I kind of, I found that I was getting a little bit of skipping around near the front of my eye. So because it skipped around and I went back in and it wasn't smooth, it ended up creating kind of unevenness, so I just made the liner bigger because I was going to do with like a kitten eye, and now we've got a wing going. We gonna fly away. But the liner then, because I had to go over the liner that I had already had set down, it kind of did that thing where you could see where it's darker in certain areas and then it's kind of lifting in certain areas, so I did not like that. I also did not like that it did skip around, but I also feel that it skipped around because it was drying out as I was using it. So it's not really one of the ones that you can do a full wing where it's going to glide on nicely. So I didn't like that about that. I will probably still use it only because I don't use brown liners too often, so to me it's not really that big of a deal if it doesn't perform quite as well. I mean, it's going to dry up probably before I use it all anyway, and then I'll just buy a different one when I do repurchase it. So I really do, like I said, I like the layout of this palette a lot. It is very beautiful. I like the packaging. I think it's super cute. I mean, where are they? They're over here. So it's going to probably go there. I do have the Early Bird and the Pretty Birdie, and now I have Nightingale. I really want to get the Rising Phoenix. I was really hoping when they said that Pretty Vulgar was coming back that it would be the Rising Phoenix one, because that is very like reds, and I just want to play with that one. But this one's beautiful too. I thought when I first got this, I was like, great, another neutral palette. I don't need a neutral palette, but I really do like this one. So there's that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you come back for more. I love you all, you beautiful unicorns. Bye.